morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing on this beautiful, Lord, is it Tuesday, child, Wednesday, whatever it is. I just thank God for allowing me another day to be in the land of the living, to come before you all, to give this short devotional. And I pray that it touches someone's heart, that it ministers to someone's situation. I thank God for his overnight protection. I'm just blessed this morning. You know, when we wake up, the devil is always ready to get started. He's ready to discourage you about something. He's there to have you start worrying and questioning what's going on in your life. And if you're not careful, he will have you to start doubting God. But we have to wake up and we have to shake that thing off. We can't give the devil an inch, because if you give him an inch, he will take a whole mile. We have to go through and weatherproof our spirit. You know how people weatherproof their home? They put plastic on the windows, they seal up the cracks, whatever they need to do to stop that flow of air from coming in. That's what we have to do spiritually. We have to do whatever we need to do to seal up the cracks, so that the enemy do not have leadway, so that the enemy cannot seep through. Any crack, he can come through it. Any doubt, he'll come through it. Any worry, he'll come through it. Any question, he'll come through it. We have to be careful. Weatherize your spirit. Thanks for hopping on. I pray that you're able to come all the way in the room, but if not, if you can just catch the replay, I thank God for you. I don't have no sad story. I'm just grateful. Because when you look back over your life and everything that God has done for you, everything that God has carried you through, you don't have a sad story. I remember the time back in my life where I looked back and I wondered how I was going to make it through this, how I was going to make it through that, how I was going to get over this, how I was going to get over that. And when I looked back, I knew it was nothing but the grace of God. I knew it was no one but him. Because when I looked around and I realized it was nobody but him that was left. He was the only one that had my back. He was the only one that said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He's the one that said, I will wipe your tears away. He was the one that said, I will give you strength in those moments when you are weak. He has been my everything. He has been my all in all. When everyone else walked away, when they turned their back, when they didn't have time for me, it was him that kept me going. See, some of you don't know what that feels like. You don't know what that feels like. If you have never experienced it, you don't know what that feels like. When you feel forgotten about, when you feel left out, when you don't feel included, when you don't feel appreciated. Have you ever been there? It hurts. But it's only by the grace of God that I still stand, that I still get up, that I still keep going, that I keep persevering. He gave me the strength to just keep going. He let me know better days are coming. Don't get so focused on where you at, but focus on where you're going. You're going to have some dark days, some lonely days, some hard days, but you're going to get through it all. I trust that you're going to get through it all. He prayed for me that my faith would not fail me. And my faith is what I'm holding on to. That my joy is going to come in the morning. That trouble don't last always. Seasons going to change in my life. Where I'm going to look back and I'm going to say, God, you did it. You brought me through. You brought me out. You kept me in my right mind. It's only because of you that I rise. Let me get on into this devotional and get on out your way. The title of today's devotional is The Why Question. The Why Question. And that reference scripture is Psalms 1:12-7. Psalms 1:12-7. And it reads as follows. He will not fear bad news. His heart is steadfast, trusting, steadfast, trusting, relying, and believing in the Lord. Again, that's Psalms 1:12-7. Have you ever been in a situation? Have you ever faced anything in your life and you just said, why? Why me? Why now? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? I think if we all be honest, I think we all can say we've all been there. When something happened to us and we know there was nothing we did to cause it, the first thing we will do is ask the question, why? Let me get on into this read. When we find ourselves in the midst of a struggle or adversity, we often ask God, why? Why is this happening to me? Let's imagine for one moment that God actually answered that question. Would his explanation change anything? The effects of the situation would still be with you. If he answered that question, why? The situation still would be there. It's not like if he gave you an answer, he gave you a response, that situation would go away. It would vanish. What would you have learned? When we ask God that question, what we're really asking God, do you love me? I never looked at it that way. Will you take care of me in my sorrow and my pain? Have you ever been there where you just had so much hurt, so much pain, so much disappointment that you just said, Lord, why? Have you ever went as far as to say, what did I do wrong? Have you ever felt like your life was just cursed because all you know was pain, hurt, and sorrow and discouragement? Have you ever been there? You won't leave me alone, will you? Is it possible that we ask for explanation because we're afraid God doesn't truly care about us? My Lord, that's another way to look at that. When we ask him why is this happening? Why did that happen? Some people will go as far as to say, why did you allow that to happen? Why didn't you stop that from happening? Instead, we can learn to say, Lord, I believe. I don't understand. And I'll probably never grasp all the reason bad things happen. But I know for certain that you love me. You are good and you are with me always. I'm going to read that again. Instead, we can learn to say, Lord, I believe. I don't understand. And I'll probably never grasp all the reason bad things happen. Have you ever been there? Where it just seems like no matter what you did, no matter how you tried to do it, If you done everything like you were supposed to do, it still seemed like things just went against you. It just seemed like you walked away on the losing end. It felt like that you got the short end of the stick, and you just can't seem to get over the why. When you hold on to that why, it keeps you stuck. It'll keep you stagnant. It'll keep you in this place that God is trying to move you from, where he's trying to deliver you out of. Because knowing the why is not going to change the fact that it happened, that it took place. So you have to pray and you have to ask God, get me past the why. You may not never understand it. It may not never make sense. Why? Because it didn't make sense. It happened just simply because it happened. But you can't stay stuck in the why. I was there about a couple of months ago. Actually, a little bit longer. Yeah, almost 3 months. And although I was trying to move past, I was still stuck at the why. I couldn't understand the why. The why kept me stuck. Because I knew I had done everything by the book. I knew I had kept my end of the bargain of the contract. But yet and still, what happened, happened. What took place, took place. And I was stuck at the why. It seemed like the more I tried to move past it. The more I tried to get over it, I was still stuck. I was stuck at the why because I couldn't understand it. It didn't make any sense. And I yet struggle with it today. I'm a little bit better. But every now and then, the devil brings it back up. He reminds me of what happened. He reminds me of what took place. But God said, you got to move past it. You got to get over it. You can't stay stuck in the why. Because it's not going to change the fact that it happened. And so I received a call. And the individual said, God said to contact this individual and let them know that you forgive them for what they did. Not I had to apologize to them because I done something wrong. But I had to call. I had to make contact and let them know I forgive you for what you did to me. How you tried to hurt me. How you tried to take me down. It took me a day or so. Because I even had to understand that why. But it was for my protection. It was so that it wouldn't get so embedded in my spirit. That it would cause me to start being bitter and angry and vindictive. Because you know the devil tell you, you need to get back. You need to do this, you need to do that. And God said, leave it alone. Leave it alone. I got it. That's my battle, not yours. That's my fight, not yours. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Don't think they getting away with it. I know it looks like it. I know you done seen the different posts where it appears that they don't have a care in the world about what they did, how they treated you. but I haven't forgotten about what was done. You're going to be vindicated, but I need you to keep your heart right. I need you to keep your integrity. I need you to keep your character right. That's going to pass. You're going to get over that. You're going to get through it. But when as I look back over everything that one thing impacted, sometimes it's hard. It's hard. Because this person, this woman of God, tried to destroy me. But God said, not so. He said, not so. He lets me know every day that I wake up, I'm not finished with you. Your job here is not done. It's not finished. Here, I'm giving you new mercy and new grace. Don't waste it on the why. Don't waste it on the why me. Don't waste it on how come it happened. Find something productive to do with it. So if you're in a situation where you was wronged, and you know it was unfair, you know it was nothing you did, don't waste another day. Don't waste another moment, another second on the why. Because it's not going to change what happened. It's not going to take away what happened. It's not going to take away how you felt when it happened. But it'll keep you stuck. It'll keep you from moving forward. And if you're not careful, it will set up bitterness in your heart and unforgiveness in your heart. That's why I received that call. Because sometimes we don't really know when things is really affecting us. But God ponders the heart. He ponders the heart. He said, oh no, we got to deal with this now. We got to take care of this now. I know you trying to hold it together. I know you try to hold back the tears. I know you don't want anyone to know how bad it hurt. But he knew. He knew. He said, no, we got to deal with this right now. We can't go another month. We got to take care of this right now. Because if you're not careful, bitterness can set up. So I had to make contact. And to let her know, I forgive you for how you treated me. I forgive you for what you did to me. I forgive you for that dirty act. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I got till today for her to respond or to say anything. But she got the message. She just didn't respond. And that's okay. Because now it's off of me. Now it's between her and the Father. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't have to think about it anymore. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Even through this situation, God has been sustaining me. You may be in a situation where somebody done you wrong. And in that wrong has been a domino effect. And you're wondering how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that, how you're going to get over this, how you're going to get over that, how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that. God has really been proving himself to me in this situation. And I know things happened the way it did because God needed me to trust him on another level. The situation that I'm in, I don't have anybody but him. I don't have no one to call on and say, can you do this? Can you do that? I don't have no one to reach out to say, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? He said, you're going to trust in no one but me. I'm going to get the full glory. No one is going to be able to say that she got here because of me. She got there because of me. She was able to do this because of me. She was able to do that because of me. I was looking at a young lady's video, and she was talking about how God had her in a season of trusting him. And she was talking about how she come from a family that believed in going to college and having careers. But God had her going in a different direction than what her family believed in. And how there was so much controversy and so much bad energy. But she said she had to stand because God told her to stand. Because God was trying to also change some things in them. But he had to use her in order to get it done. And at this time, she's living with her parents. Can you imagine living with those that is coming up against you? They threatening to put you out. They telling you you got to go. But God is telling you to stand anyway. She said it was tough. She said she began to say, Lord, will I ever have my own place? Will I ever be able to take care of myself? Will I ever be able to do the things that I desire to do? She said she would have her days. We all have our good days and our bad days. But nevertheless, she had to sit in it. She had to stand in it. And she said, when God got done, it changed her family so that she never would have thought that things would have went the way that they went. But because she didn't bow, because she didn't compromise, because she didn't try to take a shortcut, she realized that it wasn't her will, but it was willed to her to carry out, to carry through. And when she stopped fighting, when she realized that cup was not going to pass, the change was coming through her. The change was going to be made through her. She realized, I got to stand in it. I don't know what all God is doing in this situation, but I know I got to stand in it. I got to stand. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. And sometimes it doesn't smell good. But I know this is a cup that was passed down, that was willed to me. And can't no one drink this cup but me. See what the devil meant to take me down, to take me out. God is still doing what God is doing. God is still moving in my life. God is still giving me favor. I said favor. Favor. My job will call me just to see how I'm doing. Favor. Understanding. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Because I remember the time when I would go through things, man, I would be all over the place. But God has given me peace that surpasses all understanding, even minds. But I know it comes from Him. Because I would not be able to go through what I'm going through without Him. She said, the one that told me that God told her to call me to do what I needed to do. She said, God is taking you to another level. What you're going through is not in vain. You're going to another level. He's raising you up. God said all you need to do is just praise Him. You don't need to do anything else but praise Him. And that's where I'm at. The devil wants me to stay stuck in the why. He wants me to stay stuck in the why me. He wants me to stay stuck in why did this happen to me? He wants me to look at why ain't nobody checking on me. But I can't stay there. I can't dwell there. Because God is in control. He's in control of my life. He's in control of everything that I'm going through, everything that I'm facing, everything that I'm enduring. But God has given me favor. He's given me favor that I don't even deserve. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. We got to be grateful. We got to be thankful because things could always be worse. My son woke up today and he was a little discouraged because of some things that took place. I said, we can't give the enemy an inch because he will take a mile. We cannot give him an inch because he will take a whole mile, if not longer. We're not going to give the enemy no entertainment today. We're not going to entertain him today. We're just not going to do it. And so when I got up and looked at the devotional, the why question, I said, I got to go and share this. So whatever you're facing today, whatever you're going through, don't get stuck in the why. Don't get stuck in the why me. Don't get stuck in the why is this happening to me. Don't get stuck, why did I lose this? Why did I lose that? Know that God is going to work it out on your behalf. And the moment I listened to that young lady's video of what she went through with her family, not with strangers, with her family, immediate family, parents, siblings. She said her and her sister was best friends. But there was some friction between them. But she still had to stand and trust God. Whatever God have you doing something, it's not going to be easy, but you got to stand anyway. Even when those that should love you comes up against you, you got to stand anyway. Even when those that love you is questioning, well, what did you do? What did you do wrong? You got to stand anyway. Didn't Job go through that? Didn't his friends say, what did you do? You had to have done something, Job. Look at everything that you're going through. Look at the things that you lost. What did you do, Job? Come clean. You may be going through that. They may be on the phone saying, I know they did this. I know they had to have done something. Look at what they're going through. But they're not discussing. Look at how God is sustaining them. Look at how they're not asking nobody for anything, but they yet getting up and they yet moving and moving forward. God is good. Listen. The devil's going to always be busy. And the devil's going to use anything that's available to be used, whether it's friends or family or foes. He's going to use anything that's available. But we got to be determined to stand if we have to stand all by ourselves. That young lady said she was by herself in the midst of her family, living with them. And every day they discussing about putting her out because she wasn't going to school and she didn't have a career. They felt like she was beneath them. But yet and still, she had to take a stand. Sometimes God will have you doing some things that will come up, that will have those coming up against you that's supposed to love you and try to protect you and support you. But yet and still, you got to take a stand. If you have to stand all by yourself. You may be standing by yourself physically, but God is with you spiritually. Why? Because he said he will never leave you nor forsake you. But that don't mean sometimes you may not feel abandoned by him. But when God has given you his word that what he's going to do and what he's going to carry you through, he don't stick around to see is it going to perform, because he said his word will not, cannot, shall not return back to him void. So all he have to do is speak, and he goes on about his business because it has to perform. It has to come to pass. So if we could get to that place that when God speaks something over our lives, that we don't allow the enemy to come in and steal what God has said he's going to do, and we just go on with our lives. My God, who am I talking to? You're stuck. And God has already given you a promise. God has already told you what he was going to do. God has already told you he was going to bring you out. He's already given you dreams and visions, but yet you're stuck in the why. Today, it's time to rise. Today, it's time to get up. Today, it's time to start again. Today, it's time to start believing again. Today, it's time to start hoping again. Today, it's time to start trusting again. Today, it's time to start believing again. You can't stay stuck in the why. God is not back at the why. He's waiting for you to show up at the promise. Just like his prodigal son, he knew he was going to return. That's the reason why he was able to see him from afar off. God knows that you're coming. He knows that you're going to get back up. Today is your day to get from the why. Let go of the why. The why is not about you. God got it. God is now in control of it. Don't allow the why to harden your heart. Don't allow that why to cause bitterness in your heart. God is saying it's time to move past the why. Where he's taking you is bigger than the why. The promise is bigger than the why. Your blessing is bigger than the why. I shared with you about a year ago. A lady spoke something. She didn't and still don't know me from a can of paint. We've never met. But she said, you're getting ready to go on a path to do something. And God said, don't waver. Trust him. Don't waver. Just trust him. I didn't know what that was going to look like. I didn't know what I was going to have to go through. I didn't know what was going to be stolen from me. But that's where the don't waver come from. I didn't know how I was going to make ends meet. I didn't know I didn't know I was going to be in a place where I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my bills. How am I going to keep things going? That's where the trust him come in at. And what she spoke, I'm walking it out right now. I'm walking it out right now. I said I'm walking it out right now. I can't waver. I got to trust him. I can't doubt him. I have to trust him. Because I was already told a year in advance, you're going to walk through something. But God said, she didn't say it, she said, God said, don't waver. Don't compromise. Don't doubt him. Just trust him. Just trust him. You can't figure it out. You can't make sense of it. But trust him anyway. He has been sustaining me. He has been keeping me. I thought about the other day. I said, Lord, I haven't even been out the house, my Lord, since November. And I have my days where it'll hit me. But then I just say, well, Lord, I thank you that I have a roof over my head. I thank you that I have a roof over my head. That I'm not outside. That I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful. I'm grateful this morning because I didn't realize I was stuck at the why. I didn't realize I was waking up with the why. Why me, Lord? Why did this happen to me? What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? Is there anything else I could have done? Is there anything else I could have said? This one was saying you should have did this. This one saying you should have done that. Some I felt in my spirit. They were saying you had to have done something. I know you done something. I wanted to vindicate myself. I wanted to send out a mass text explaining exactly what happened. And God is saying, leave it alone. Let it go. I got it. You'll never be able to vindicate you. I have to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to do it in your time. I'm not going to do it the way you want me to do it. But when I do it, it's going to be done and everyone is going to know it. But right now, you got bigger fish to fry. There's something that you need to do that's more important. You got to move past the why. You got to get past trying to vindicate yourself. You got to let it go. You got to move past it. You got to let me handle it. Cast your cares upon me. Why? Because I care for you. I know you're not going to be able to handle it by yourself. I know you're not going to be able to take it by yourself. I know you're not going to be able to get through it by yourself. But if you release it to me, I can send you on your merry way. You can go be doing what you need to be doing. and not sitting up worrying about something that you can't fix or change. So I had to let it go. I had to trust him enough to say, I know that you got it. I know that you're going to fix it. I know that you're going to vindicate me. I know I'm going to be proven not guilty. I know the lies that was told, you're going to clear it up. I know those that felt like I had done something wrong, you're going to fix it. You're going to vindicate me 110%. But I have to keep my heart right. You have to keep your heart right. If you want him to work on your behalf, you got to stop working for you. You got to stop trying to vindicate yourself. You got to stop trying to prove that you was right and they was wrong. And just allow God to be God in your life, in your situation, and whatever you're going through. You said, well, Yolanda, you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't know what happened. You don't know what the lie did. You don't know what the lie took from me. I'm going through battles trying to get visitation with my children. You don't know what I'm going through. I'm going broke trying to fight the court system. You don't understand. No, I don't. But I serve a God that do. And I'm telling you, if you let go, if you let him fight your battles, if you give it to him, he'll work it out. And he will make your enemies be at peace with you. They won't even want to fight with you anymore. They're not even going to want to take you to court anymore. But the more you keep showing up with gasoline and kerosene, the fire is going to get bigger. If you want the fire to go out, you got to either have water or a fire extinguisher. You can't show up with gasoline. You can't show up with kerosene and wonder why the fire is getting bigger. What are you putting on it? What are you showing up with? My Lord. Give it to God. Let go of the fight. Let go of trying to prove that you done nothing wrong. Let that go. It don't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Life is too short. Let people think what they think. Let them feel how they choose to feel. Because even with you trying to vindicate yourself, they still gonna feel how they feel. So why waste any time trying to change it? Why waste any time trying to fix it? It's time to let it go. Release it. Let it be what it is. Let them have it. Let them think that they won. Let them feel that they've gotten over. And when you least expect it, your name is going to be cleared. And you won't have to say a word. Allow God to be God. Let me finish this. But I know for certain that you love me. You are good, and you are with me always. Today's thoughts. It takes more faith to go through something victoriously than to be delivered from it. Let me read that again. It takes more faith to go through something victoriously than to be delivered from it. Put your faith in God, and you'll come out stronger on the other side. You got to give it to him. You got to release it to him. You got to let him know, I trust you. I believe you. I know you got my back. I know you're going to lift up a standard. I know you're going to bring me out. I know you're going to bring me through. He wants us to trust him just like that. When the enemy comes in like a flood, God will lift up a standard for you. But have you trusted him to that point? Have you trusted him to the point that he'll get up and he'll fight for you? Or are you doubting him? And if you care to dig a little deeper into God's word, study Romans 8:28. Romans 8:28. Everything that you're going through, everything that you've had to face, everything that you had to endure, God is going to turn it around for your good. It's going to work itself out. And it's going to be so good that when you look back, it's going to be hard to remember even what happened and how it made you feel. Because God is going to reward you. Just stay faithful to him. In Jeremiah 17:7. That was Romans 8:28 and Jeremiah 17:7. God bless you all. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for coming all the way in the room. I thank God for you. I pray that something was said that will cause you to get up, that will cause you to let go of the why and allow God to fight the battle for you. Because the battle is not even yours. It belongs to him. See, what happened to you, the enemy used that individual to do what they did, to say what they said. So now, the battle is not yours. The Bible said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, even though we see the vessel. It was the spirit. It's the spirit that's operating through them. And so now God has to deal with the spirit, which is Satan himself. So that's what happened to me. The devil was able to get into this individual. And the devil operated through that individual and caused them to do what they did. See, the devil thought he knew me. He thought he was going to stop me. He thought he was going to break me. But now he realized he just wasted his time. He just did that for nothing. Because I'm still standing. So the battle is not against flesh and blood, but principality and wickedness in high places. Because this individual had influence in the church, on her job, in the community. But God is not moved by that. God is not moved by that. But God is handling that. So I'm grateful this morning, and I pray that after everything that has been spoken, that you are able to move past the why question and just allow God to be God in your life. Speak life. Speak life over yourself, over your friends, over your foes, those that gave up on you, pushed you aside, said you'd never make it. They said they pushed you aside. They said you'll never make it out. They said you'll never make it through. They said your life would never change. Speak life over them as well. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. Until next time, everyone enjoy your blessed day. And let this day be the last day that you allow the why question to dictate your day. God is ready to lift up a standard. But it's time to let go of what's holding you back. Everyone stay blessed. Until next time.